This is Clyde's Honest Reviews, and where I have a strict set of rules that I follow upon reviewing new and old titles alike, and whether or not I would recommend them to the average viewer. What's important to you guys is also important to me. And the biggest factor in recommendations in video games comes down to the amount of enjoyment I can get out of my money, which leads to the major factors of my review system. You got the pros, the cons, the potential, and most importantly, gameplay hours, or likely gameplay hours versus the cost of the game. Why did I make this system? Well, because I got tired of hearing about people recommending games based on the content or the story of them alone. Sure, a great story and mechanics go a long way. I'm not saying that they don't. But when everything is said and done, if the game's only fun for one playthrough, or I can get 100% of it done, as in all of the achievements done within 30 hours, I shouldn't be paying $60 for it. What's going on, everybody? This is Clydian Fayre, and first and foremost, I want to welcome you all to the channel. We're going to put the rest of the fluff to the side for now and dig straight into the content, since that's what you're here for. Lost Eidolons, a new turn-based strategy RPG, was just released this week. I've had the pleasure of sinking my teeth into it. So far, I can say I'm very impressed and have high hopes for it so far. Don't worry, this video will not contain any spoilers of the story, only mechanics and overall gameplay review and insights. First and foremost, if you've ever played a standard square grid turn-based strategy game with a weapon triangle, you've essentially played Lost Eidolons. The developers definitely drew inspiration from titles such as Fire Emblem. If you love this type of game, then you will most likely love this one, as it has its own unique twist on the weapon triangle and offers some unique strategies for the player to build around and customize their troops to their liking. On the contrary, if you're not a fan of this style of game, this title may not be for you. The majority of the game revolves around 3 different points: story cutscenes, the camp, and battles. The cutscenes are beautiful, and voice acting is nothing to complain about. I mean, the lip syncing on the models doesn't necessarily match up to the voice actors, but if that's your biggest gripe about the game, then honestly, I think it's a success overall. The camp puts the player in control of the main character from a third-person perspective, and the player is then tasked with navigating the campsite and conversing with party members and travelers and doing minor side quests, shopping, managing the retinue. This is all pretty standard stuff from veterans of this genre, and they will find themselves very familiar with it. Now, getting into the best portion of the game, the battles. The battles are your typical battles from this genre. There are either monsters that you need to fight or other humans with weapons and gear equipped ready to harm your party, and the player will magically produce a can of whoop butt and deliver it to said baddies via magic, sword, axe, bow, or spear. The weapon triangle in this game is somewhat unique though, since weapons actually have a triangle in relation to the armor types a unit is wearing. This can lead to an entire army consisting of plate armor wearers, or everyone and their mother running around in their bathrobes. Who am I to judge? A mechanic that Fire Emblem players will find familiar is an undo feature, which allows the player to undo however many moves they desire up to 5 times without having to restart the battle entirely. This makes a lossless run much less tedious without having to reload a save, and is a great feature in my opinion. There are other environmental effects that can play into elemental magic chains, such as electrifying a person who's standing in a puddle, or using fire magic on a person hiding in a bush, causing the foliage to erupt in flames. Unfortunately, fires do not spread, much to the disappointment of my inner pyromaniac. The bottom line is that the animations are pretty much seamless and have a nice satisfaction factor. There's no shortcomings on the battle side of things. Well, besides one small, tiny detail. There's a turn limit on every battle. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I definitely understand why though. Like, The developers want to prevent players from cheesing their way through the game with overleveled characters due to spending 400 turns on a battle trapping enemies in a corner with unarmed units. I get it. I've done it. My only concerns about the game at this point is replayability and potential unit customization. I have about 4 hours of gameplay so far and have hardly scratched the surface on the storyline or all the mechanics, but they show a ton of promise. Heck, even sticking with a cookie cutter Fire Emblem clone with these graphics is enough to get me to throw money at it and play it through at least once. As of right now, I am unsure on if there's going to be a harder difficulty mode unlocked upon the completion of the game, or if there will be a new Game Plus feature. If either of these are already implemented or are implemented in the future, I would be ecstatic because I'm currently playing on Hard Maniac and don't have to utilize the undo feature or restart battles very often, if at all. So yeah, I get it, Clyde. What does this all mean? Well, let me break it down for you. The pros, it's got great graphics, satisfying animations and combat, and a unique weapon triangle because it's weapon versus armor. Cons, Hard Maniac settings are underwhelming. There are minor lip sync issues in cutscenes if you want to get really nitpicky, and I would like to see a wider variety of classes in the class tree, but this is just my personal preference. I do not go over these in the video due to potential spoilers. And the big one is the battle turn limit. I can see this as a pro because it does increase the difficulty of the game, but a lot of people are not going to enjoy that feature. Now, time to cost. The main factor, the bottom line, the ultimate truth, your hour to dollar ratio. Being conservative, I can see myself getting about 40 hours of gameplay out of this within a single run. That's including cutscene time and fully exploring the map and reading all of the Easter eggs and interactions. Considering I'll want to do another run throughout the game just to experiment with unique character builds, I'll just say ultimately I can estimate at least 60 hours of gameplay before I'm bored with the title, assuming there's not increased difficulty levels or new Game Plus features, which means that I'll be just shy of 2 hours of gameplay per dollar spent on the title, which I'm content with. Even a single run, fully experiencing the game will net you almost a break even 1 hour per dollar of entertainment, which I think at least meets expectations. I won't say that you should rush and go buy the game right now, because I don't believe it's a steal of a game, but if you're a fan of these types of games, it's most likely up your alley. I'd like to thank you all for sticking around for the video, and if you enjoyed or appreciated this content and would like to see more videos such as this one, drop a comment and like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a good one.